So, I've had my past of underrating Giannis, and I'm not gonna do it again, but apparently, they're frauds?
Time to re-up YouTube. Your boy Young Mustard is back with another video. Today we're going to talk about the team that I thought was going to be the best team in the NBA. You could still make that argument when they're fully healthy. That is the Milwaukee Bucks. If you remember, I predicted the Bucks to be #1 in the league on my season preview. I titled it, I think, Giannis is the reason why or something like that. But regardless, unfortunately, they're not really living up to the standards that I thought they would have this season. And that's not...
Can we just pause it right there? All right. Big Mustard said that his standard for them was being #1 in the league.
No. Oh no.
Because I just want to see how much they're disappointing as of the recording of this video. So right now, they have tied for the 3rd best record in the league. Okay, Honey Mustard. Okay, dude.
He did this the second they lost that 3rd game. He said, bet. Me getting this stuff. Hey, I ain't mad at it. They lost 4 games in a row. He said, word. Hold on, bruh. Frauds.
To say that they're not having a relatively good year. They're 2nd in the Eastern Conference, and they started off the year 9-0. They've had some bright spots throughout the entire season, but unfortunately, since that 9-0 stretch, they haven't looked like the same team. And it really makes me wonder, because there are times I watch this team and visually they just look so gross and disgusting, and Giannis is a part of that. I am not going to absolve him at all. It sometimes gives me flashes to the old Milwaukee Bucks team, even though they're obviously not the same team, but I'm more so just talking about the aura that they give of being frauds. And in today's video, we're going to address that. Are the Milwaukee Bucks back to being the fraudulent team that they once were when they had that smelly, disgusting NBA player known as Eric Bledsoe? But before we get started with this video, if you are not subscribed, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button ASAP, just like that. Also, do not forget to hit that bell for post notifications on this channel. You don't want to miss it. And discussion and talk about the Milwaukee Bucks, because I have a lot of things to the subject of discussion, and talk about the Milwaukee Bucks because I have a lot of things to say. For starters, the Bucks this year have been a great defensive team, which has been kind of like the thing with them over the last couple of seasons, especially since Coach Bud has entered the scenario. I mean, when you have guys like Jrue Holiday, Javon Carter, Brook Lopez, Giannis, it's no shocker that they're one of the 5 best defenses in basketball. Brook Lopez right now looks like the defensive player of the year. If I'm not mistaken, he averages around nearly 3 blocks a game. I believe he leads the league in blocks per game. He's been insane with his rim protection this season. Throw in Giannis, who's one of the best help defenders in the league
of all
time. You can ISO Brook Lopez, pull him out the paint. Once you blow past him, Giannis is right there to meet you at the rim with the help defense. You have Jrue Holiday on the perimeter, one of the best perimeter players in the league, can fight over screens, move his feet laterally, get in passing lanes, clamps on the perimeter legit. Javon Carter, also a really underrated defender in his own right. And think about it, Chris Middleton has barely played this season, and he's a positive defender in his own right.
All right. So he has acknowledged that Chris Middleton has barely played this season. Okay.
Let me get the number, man, just to be safe. Let me get the number. Chris Middleton has played a total of 7 games, and they're the 3rd best team in the East. A game from 2. They just had a losing streak.
You know what's crazy, bro? You know what's crazy? The Celtics was getting so much smoke for being pushed to 7 games by the Bucks without Chris Middleton. Imagine if Chris Middleton was there. They come into next season, Chris Middleton is not back yet, right? Or he's played, but not a lot of games. And they have, again, tied for the 3rd best record in the league. And we're having conversations about why they're frauds again, comparing this to the team in 2019. And I don't even think that team was truly fraudulent, to be honest with you. They just, the Raptors are a matchup nightmare for them specifically.
Yeah, that man Nurse and that man Kawhi with Ibaka, worst thing Giannis could have seen that year.
good those other guys are and how they can uphold this team's defense. But that's truly not the problem with this team at all. It actually is their offense, which is so surprising considering what the Bucks have been in recent years. This is a team that since they hired Coach Bud has been a top 5 offense consistently in either points per game or offensive rating, or even both. But take your guess where the Bucks are right now in points per game and offensive rating this year. Are they top 5? No. Are they top 10? No. Are they top 15? No. They're not even top 15. They are 17th in points per game and offensive rating. That is not going to get it done for a team that actually has championship expectations. And it's so weird because when you look at everybody individually, they're all putting up relatively decent stat lines. Giannis averaging his over 30 points per game, and even though he's been struggling as of late, and we're going to get to that, he's still having a good season offensively. Drew Holiday is playing well, some of the best basketball of his career. Brook Lopez is shooting over 40% from 3 and over 50% from the field, and averaging around 15 points per game. So what is the big problem with this Bucks offense? Well, for one, Chris Middleton has barely played, and when he has played, he hasn't looked that good. As in the 7 games that Middleton has played this season, he is averaging a measly 11 points a game, 4 assists and 3 rebounds, as well as just less than a steal. 32% shooting from the field though, and on 6 attempts from behind the arc is shooting 27% at the 3-point line. Middleton is a big part of their offense, especially on that wing. He's a guy that can go out there and do basically everything. He can play off the ball, he can play on the ball, he can operate the pick and roll. He's a good ball handler and decision maker. He's not really great at getting to the rim the way he used to, but he's a great floor spacer. He can knock down the mid-range shot. He can do the turnaround, pull-up fade. He can do a lot of things in his bag.
What? No way. No way.
Middleton to George Hill, bro. What the fuck?
Side note, another person with a supreme bag.
He's not really great at getting to the rim the way he used to, but he's a great floor spacer. He can
oh my
knock
God,
down
this
the
awesome.
mid-range shot.
No way.
Turn around, pull up fade. He can do a lot of things in his bag. People really.
I will say this, and this is not even like Klay's not the first person to run through this issue, but I'm gonna call it the Klay issue. From this point forward, y'all be hyping up these players too much coming from major injuries, and then when they come back and play ass, like now y'all want, like, come on, bro. Let's just face the fact that these people were out for a reason, and when they play bad, just chill out on them. They might be recovering, or that just might be who they are now. I'm not saying Chris Middleton is gonna end up being an 11-point per game scorer for the rest of his career this point forward, but it's because of the fact that y'all hyped them up so much, both as a team and individually, that now when they come back and they're trying to get their legs under them again, and they're trying to get back to their former state, now y'all want to shit on them. I just feel like it's hella unfair to the players, bro.
Extremely, and there's your rare souls and sage defending players take. Nah, it's actually kind of sad, and I was one of the people that thought Klay was going to come back, and by March or whatever, I was like, he going to be 100%. That was the hot take that I had, and it was wrong. But I don't dunk on Klay. Remember how Klay used to be the most loved person? I'm glad you're using him for your new lingo. Klay used to be the most loved warrior. Now he's the most hated. And it's just sad, man. Because he blew his knee out. Now you hate the dude. That's fucked up.
He got a torn ACL and a torn Achilles in back-to-back fucking years. And now y'all want to hold him to, what, 2017 Klay standards?
That's fucked up.
Good of an offensive player Chris Middleton was in his prime. And I say that because there's a good chance that we may never see that Chris Middleton again. I'm just saying. Middleton is 31 years old and is coming off of a pretty noticeable injury that has knocked off a lot of time in his career so far this season. I'm just going to be real here. We have to face the possibility that Chris Middleton might be aging. It was only 7 games, so I'm not going to jump on Chris Middleton and say, oh my God, how can you play this poorly? But I'm not going to have super high expectations for an aging player who is coming off of a pretty major injury in his career. And it's very obvious that has affected
someone
this
with
team
common
to a
sense.
huge degree. Drew Holiday is now the number 2 option, and in all reality, he is not a number 2 guy. At best, he is a number 3 guy, as they showed in the 2021 playoffs when they won the championship with him being the 3rd option. That then also alleviates more pressure on a guy like Brook Lopez to be the number 3 guy,
so
when we know in all actuality, Brook Lopez Lopez is not no damn number 3 guy on a championship team, and so on and so forth. That puts more responsibility on everybody else, and these games will usually just come down to, is Giannis gonna drop 30 and is everybody else gonna live up to their standards? And usually that does happen, but it's very easy for that not to happen when everybody game plans for Giannis, which leads me into a big issue that I've had with Giannis this season.
That's such a crazy take though. Let's just run back what he just said.
Yeah,
because that happens. That's a majority of teams in the NBA. A lot. That's like saying the Celtics, man. If Tatum gotta drop 30 every night and everyone has to live, like, yeah, what the fuck? My bad we're expecting 30 from Tatum when he's proven the fact that he's averaging 30 for the year. My bad, we're expecting 25 from Jaylen Brown, and you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just a normal thing for teams. I don't think it's something hyper specific to the Bucks.
Yeah, man, if Nikola Jokic is supposed to drop 30, if that happens, cool, but are the other players going to live up? And most of the time they do because they're a good team, but if they don't, they lost, and that's crazy to me. Like, duh! I don't...
And then he also acknowledged that most of the time it does happen. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, I can't. I can do this for every team in basketball, to be honest. Like, if Zion, like, come on, bro. Kevin Durant, yeah, it checks out.
Giannis this year has had a relatively up and down season. He's in the MVP conversation, obviously, and when I say this, I'm not saying this to be biased towards Giannis. I mean, hell, you guys see his jersey on my wall. I have no issue with Giannis as a player. He is my favorite player in the league. But unfortunately, I'm not going to lie, Giannis does have some issues with his playmaking, and a lot of those issues just stem from the fact that Chris Middleton is not there, but they have to be prepared for that scenario, not only in the regular season, but potentially come playoff time, because who really knows? We saw what happened last year, and it's kind of picking up where it left off this year so far in the regular season. Giannis sometimes does bull rush into the paint, and there are times that he does miss some easy reads to his teammates on the perimeter. And I'm not saying Giannis is not a good player.
30
That's
or 20.
not what I'm saying.
But the criticism that you're saying, Mustard, this has been the case even when they weren't quote unquote frauds. Like, these are problems that he had when they won a championship. So I don't know. I just feel like this video is a hell of a reach, bro. Small sample size from all over the place, the Chris Middleton criticism, just the team criticism as a whole. I think it's way too soon to make the claim that they're frauds. And let me just ask you, Sage, like, the way they're currently playing, if they face the Celtics, do they have a decent chance of beating them? For real. Just yes or no, quick yes or no.
They're often viewed as the favorite by most people, but definitely yes.
Okay, what about the Nets?
Yeah.
The Cavs?
Donovan Mitchell's the second greatest player I've seen. I don't know about that. I don't know about the Cavs. I'm not playing. Yeah, bro. Yeah.
All right, the Sixers?
Yep.
And out of the West, who is really checking them for real?
April Fools.
Come on, bro.
That's the fear of the West. If Giannis makes it, it might be GG's.
And even if the Warriors go on like a spectacular playoff run and by the finals they're back to the championship Warriors, if the Bucks make it there, I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks. I just don't know what you're seeing so far that makes them fraudulent. Are they beatable? Yes, absolutely. But just because they're beatable, does that make them fraudulent? I don't think so.
We've had this talk for like the past 3 years in terms of parity in the NBA. And this season, I think, is when it should be the most relevant, but it's not, and it's kind of weird. Like, when you look at the West, wide open. It's a bunch of one-star teams everywhere, except for teams like the Lakers and Clippers, who are both viewed as frauds. And we're talking about Giannis in this video. As we just hinted at, if Giannis makes the finals, look, I'm not saying the West doesn't have a chance. They do. But there's no Giannis counter out there. It's none. No team that we could logically say will make the finals. No counter to Giannis. It's just up. And we're talking about this team competing with the best of the best in the East, potentially having no counter to teams in the West, and we're gonna view them as frauds. I can't go there, bro. I really can't. And then my follow-up would be, I guess, to Mustard, would be, what trade are you making? Because you're talking about getting that guy that could alleviate pressure off of Giannis or whatever, but are you gonna trade down at the cost of your defense? Or like, who are we getting from who? Like, I think this is overreaction as well. I think we just need to chill out, let Middleton come back, see what he is. And believe in Giannis, tell you the truth, as corny as that sounds.
Just saying, there are times that he does have lapses in his judgment, and it'll result in these banana peel turnovers, whether it's like a travel, whether it's just a double dribble, or he charges into somebody, or it's him just dribbling the ball off his foot or something. Giannis do be having the most stupid turnovers though. Very careless.
Yeah, up there. I will give Mustard that.
So detrimental to the momentum of this Bucks team, and that's
one
of the reasons
like
why I think offensively this team is struggling a lot more than they should.
He's winning
Giannis
most of these games.
Need a second guy that can go out there, create his own shot, and create offense for himself consistently. Drew Holiday is good at doing that, but he's not a number 2 guy. He's not supposed to be your second option if you want to have a top 5 or even top 10 offense in the NBA. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but if we're talking about real championship contention, that kind of offense is just not going to work come postseason time. As we saw last year, Drew Holiday's flaws were easily exploitable by that Celtics defense, and it was a big reason why the Bucks lost that series. One of the concerns I really have for this team isn't even a Giannis, Middleton, Drew thing at all. It actually is a Grayson Allen thing. I like Grayson Allen. He's a good floor spacer, plays with an edge as well. He's been doing that ever since college. But the problem that I have is that he is so bad on defense, and I'm very afraid for those nights that he's going to be terrible offensively, where he's just not making his shots like he did in that Celtics series, and then they're still giving him minutes because Coach Bud doesn't know how to make adjustments to save his life. Javon Carter should actually be getting a lot more minutes than he does at times, because I understand that Grayson Allen is a floor spacer, but Javon Carter is shooting the ball very well this year. Like I said earlier, he's shooting 39% from behind the arc. He's a nice passer, and on top of that, he's a good defender. So I really don't know what the obsession with giving Grayson Allen so many minutes that Coach Bud is infatuated with.
It's a race thing, is what he's trying to allude to. Let me chill.
Hey, Coach Bud don't trust them new niggas over there. This is crazy. This is crazy, man. Damn, Bud.
I'm definitely putting Grayson Allen on the trade block. If I can get a 3-and-D wing out of him, I definitely would, even though that is easier said than done. It really makes you wonder, is this team really championship worthy? I mean, they've had injuries throughout the whole season. Drew Holiday has missed some games. Chris Middleton obviously has missed the majority of the season. Hell, even Giannis has missed some games here and there. I'm gonna still say no. When you have a player like Giannis, who is still one of the top 5 players in the NBA, I don't think that you can just overlook that, combined with the supporting cast that can play some of the best defense in basketball. There's still a top 5 defense in the league, and Chris Middleton has barely played. That helps not only their defense, but obviously their offense. The Bucks right now definitely need another level of shot creation. Chris Middleton should provide that when he comes back. I expect him to get back into full form, but like I said earlier, I would not be surprised if this is just the beginning of Chris Middleton's decline. He was already kind of on that decline last year, and this year he's barely played due to an injury he suffered in the postseason last year. And with him being 31 years of age, I definitely am a bit concerned about his play going forward for this team. But I'm not going to hop off my Giannis agenda just yet. You could argue the man is the MVP of the NBA this season, even though I would disagree with it. He is still in the conversation. Part of this problem also comes from the fact that I believe the Bucks do not care about the regular season as much as they used to. It's very obvious that after they lost to the Heat, if you actually watch the games, there are times that they just don't care about even playing defense until it actually matters, obviously come fourth quarter time, and even offensively they'll be very lazy as well with some of the shots that they take. Their offense is very disgusting, I'm not even gonna lie to you. There are times where Giannis will just bull rush into the paint, try to draw a foul, try to get to the rim, but by any means necessary. And then there are times when he can't do that. He'll pass it to some shooter like Grayson Allen, and he'll drive in for some floater that he'll brick at the rim because he's not like that. Drew Holiday as well. He'll try to do some moves back down a player because he is relatively strong, or he'll do some sidestep 3 sometimes.
You know what, man? Maybe ball don't stop us right, man. The bag is important, bro. And what it sounds like is the Bucks don't got some. They don't got Chanel's. You know what I'm saying? They don't have a Louis V. They don't have a Burberry. They got some Jan Sports. They got some
Gucci?
Ziplocs. No Gucci, man. No Gucci. They got some they got some Levi's, Macy's bags, and they really need Chris Middleton's Louis V gift card. That's
that's the best take Zolt has ever had, yo. They need the Middleton Louis V. I can get with that.
I ain't gonna lie, when I watch the Bucks, this is where I'll give the fraudulent claims. They be, without Middleton, they just be like hella stiff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's
I
just
agree.
straight lines. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You know, when we found out the other day in that video that the Mavs lead the league in corner threes, I swore to life it was the Bucks. Cause I'm like, the Bucks don't move. it's really just I'm stronger than you. Kick out. I thought that's how it was. So I was pleasantly surprised when I found out the Mavs leaving corner threes. There's certain things what Mustard is saying is right, y'all. Mustard's our friend, by the way, if y'all think we being mean. But there's certain things he's saying that's 100% correct. It's just to go as far as to call them frauds, though. I can't get with that. We know in history defenses mattered more in terms of teams. We know having that top 5-6 guy has always mattered more throughout NBA history. And we know they not even at 100%. And as you acknowledged, and what I was going to say, we know they ain't trying they damnness. We know that. They don't want to say it. We love the 100% effort thing, but we know they ain't going their hardest. It's a little too far, but I do understand the concerns like Middleton potentially falling out his prime. They do not have any bag. And it's funny to say, but true. So I see the concerns, but I wouldn't go this far.
I do want to apologize to Mustard if he never actually claimed that they were frauds within the video. You know, maybe he was just portraying what the argument was. So if that was a point of the video, then my bad, Mustard. You see what I'm saying? But nah, I don't. To conclude the video, I don't think they're frauds. I still think they are the title contending team that we feared they would be this season, and they haven't underperformed like crazy to really, you know, because going into the season, we thought the Nets were going to be like, you know what I'm saying, just dominating the league. And out of the gate, when they were playing hella bad, I could see why motherfuckers would call them frauds, like for real frauds. Come to find out now, they've really hitting their stride. So shout out to the Brooklyn Nets for real. So like, if that was the situation, you know what I'm saying, they went on like a stretch where they were 4-10 or some shit, then yes, let's entertain this conversation a little bit more. But to have this conversation when, again, they have the third best record in the league and, you know, Chris Middleton hasn't really played, and I just think it's way too premature. And we're like, what, 30 games into the season? That's closer to a third of the season than half. I might have just fucked up the math, but you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of season left to be played, so.
But let me know your thoughts down below. Are the Bucks actually frauds? Who you got winning the finals? Other things of that nature. Word and deeds. This is me, your boy TSO Sage here, my brother Benjamin. Y'all take care and stay blessed.